Hello and welcome, fans of unusual computer stuff. Today, as always, we will see a representative of wonderful world of strange compact computers. Our new pal is really unique, so I think you'll like him. Meet Zaurus SL-C760. Device was released to the market in 2003. It's more than 20 years ago. For easy understanding who is Mr. C760, we should go deeply to its genealogy. Once upon a time, a long time ago. Oh, sorry, looks like it's too long ago. So the detective investigation revealed at the dawn of times, I mean since 1993, Zaurus family lived under operation of the goddamn proprietary operation system. The elder of Zaurus family is model called P3000. Look how gorgeous it is in its antique beauty. So many generations of miserable PDA has experienced extreme suffering of a moral nature until 2001, when Linux came on a white horse and brought the entire lineup to the bright open source side. Let's take a look at accessories and go forward. In my set I have the device itself, an original box with, Japanese symbols, and also manual with some more Japanese symbols. Next thing looks really weird. So this is a power supply, I think, and a cable for it. Previous owners has had very impressive skills, but rather unique fantasy. Now we are going to scrutinize the device itself. The form factor of this device isn't exclusive, but in 2003 it was very rare. The calm shell with serene touchscreen. That's how I think it was named. When it's closed, the device looks slightly larger than a regular smartphone nowadays. The only difference is thickness. It's 23mm, length 120, wide 83mm. The top and the bottom covers have an elegant white shade. On the top there is a label sharp, two tiny screws and nothing more. If we take a close look from the top of the device, we can see two tiny light indicators. One of them shows charging status, another one displays the incoming emails. Also, there is a stylish label Personal Mobile too. I think this label contains concentrated truth, but we'll talk about it later. Bottom panel has some relief. It's necessary for covering extended battery. There is some information on the panel about the model number, an indicator that SD cards can be used here, which is really cool. Also, there is a switch that allows us to disassemble bottom panel. Look, there are two types of legs, white ones made of plastic and black ones made of some sort of foam, rubber or something, or cardboard, but they've survived 20 years. On the left side there is an I/O port. Through it we can connect the device to Big Brother, computer, for synchronization. Here we can use lanyard and wear device like a key fob. On the right side there is a couple of screws, leaving space for stylus, CF card slot, a combined microphone and handphone slot. Also, there is a cover fix for the removable battery. At the back, there is no free space because of the different types of ports and control gears. On-off button. In fact, if you press this button once, device will hibernate or wake up. It goes rather fast, but for modern smartphones it may seem quite long. We should make allowance for its venerable age. Further, there are a rocker button, OC and cancel. Under this button there is a little wheel. As for me, at the first attempt of interaction I felt some sort of hypersensitivity, so it may take a while to learn how it works. There are IRDA, SD card slot, power supply port. It fits in your hand and in general it has same size like cassette player when closed. My personal assessment of the design, it's one of the best I ever seen. Mid-20th century writers imagine computer like this, I think. If we remove bottom panel, we can see a duplicate of the text on the panel and a slightly different design. That's the way basic body looks like. I mean a standard body that uses basic battery. In our device battery is 1700 mAh. Even after many years, the battery shows amazing wonders of longevity. In this photo you can see a similar device with a basic battery. There is a single hinge in the center of the unit. It allows you to firmly lock the screen at any position between 0 and 180. Yes, I really said that this screen can open up to 180 degrees. If you want to rotate this screen, you have to exert a certain amount of force. When you return it back, the screen locks in the standard position with a click. When opening the lid, we can see the magnificence worthy of Homer's poem. So, let's begin. First, the touchscreen display diagonal 3.7 inches and these resolutions in pixels immediately catches the eye. How can we understand that this is touchscreen without activating it? These little shortcut icons can help us. We will talk about them later. This is a color screen and its color are as many as 65,000. These colors differ from more than billions of colors, which only some species of hummingbird distinguish. They are ordinary 65K colors. More than this number an ordinary human eye couldn't distinguish in 2003. On the left there are some instructions for people like me. And that's not all. As you can see, there is a label CG silicon. I wonder what it means. If only someone could tell me what it is. Listen kids, here is a story about ancient technologies. So, this label means that in this device, manufacturer uses a rather interesting technology named continuous grain silicon. This technology was invented and implemented by Sharp at the beginning of the 21st century. First prototypes were created in 2002. So, question, what the heck is this? So, it's easy. CG silicon technology allows to mount on the glass substance of the LCD screen necessary display electronics, control circuits, power stabilizers, input-output interface, etc. In case of great need, you can even solder an entire processor on the silicon substrate. But in our case, it's only about the screen. We don't know which percent of components are exactly transferred to the LCD silicon. The display should probably be broken in order to know the exact percent, but I'm not gonna do it for sure. Processor of this device, Intel Xscale PXA 255, 400 MHz. I was shocked when I learned that Intel had previously made processors on ARM architecture. 64 MB RAM, RAM type SDRAM, 128 MB ROM, ROM type flash, of which 65 MB of flash drive is available to user. Weight 250 grams. I've been trying to avoid the elephant in the room for a long time. It's time to pay attention to it. Keyboard. It seems membrane with QWERTY layout. But there are some elements of interest. For example, God bless normal arrows and some amount of function keys. But we won't start with that. We'll start with the way you feel when typing on it. It's rather good. Big keyboard is better with no doubts, but I often misprint on it too, so I can complain. There is no control key on this keyboard, but with FN you can emulate some standard operation like copy, paste and cut. Talking about special keys, there are two of them, OK and cancel, in the middle. I will help solve this difficult riddle and tell you that one of them applies and another one undoes something. Also, there are tiny silicon feet which keep the screen from rubbing up against the keys. Unfortunately, my main laptop lacks this technical solution by default, so the screen is starting to rub off. When you rotate the screen, you can switch to, smartphone mode. On top of that, there is a sensor that detects position of the lid. If it rotates, interface rotate too, up to 90 degrees. Wheel, OK, cancel keys and stylus become main input tools in this position. For the record, it's rather comfortable to work in this way. Well, it's time to press the coveted button and turn on the device. You can see the Max Center logo when the device boots up. About Max Center. This company was founded in 1991 in Russia as an official dealer of Apple computers. Max Center is engaged in wholesale and retail sales of the company's products, as well as in its service for Apple device. And as you can see, not only for Apple but also for grey shipments of the device from Japan with Flash and third-party software. We can thank them for that. And it's not just a page with different language. I would like to remind you that the device was released for the Japanese market only. Therefore, it required keyboard adaptation and installation of additional software. Much work. After booting up, we can see first up PIM, Personal Information Manager. This software is created to make it easier to handle different types of personal information. In our case, address book, to-do list and calendar. Quite useful application for which PDFs were created. Next step, application. Text editor, viewer and simple image editor, calculator, clock, some kind of board, local spreadsheet, local presentation viewer, world time, Linux console. We'll talk about the console separately. On the top right, there is a drop-down list of commands that can be used, a kind of mini encyclopedia of console utilities. But not all the utilities that present in the system are there. For example, there is no top or MC. The next step is media, and there is really not that much here. First of all, we are talking about business people, so there should be no entertainment here. Nevertheless, video player, audio player, it's time to talk about something important. As you can see, there are now sound outlet holes on the body. So we don't talk about quality, we just say that there is some sound here. To say that sound is awful means to say nothing. Using this device to listen to music without headphones should be bad. On the contrary, then using headphones, the sound is not so bad that you expect from a device of 20 years old. The grass was greener. Sound recorder, as you can understand, it's software that allows you to turn your device into a voice recorder. But there is one peculiarity. Recording works only with external microphone. You can change recording quality in the settings if you want. About next app, Kina 2. Funny app that can you do a little bit more than original video app. But it has many problems. Next up, networking. There is a browser, email client, VNC viewer, NetFront, mobile browser, VNC server. And if you want more information about networking on this device, please like it. More than 300 likes, I will make a video about networking. I think this device may be good cyberdeck. Next step, games. And now I'll be installing them all. And also we'll try to install Doom, as it should be on a Necro device. And while you take Zombiemans and pregnant imps away from the screen, let's take a look what we already have. Aliens, Space Invader clone. Game was created in 1978. Pipe Man, clone or port of Pipe Mania, 1989 game. A puzzle game, the main gameplay is try to creating a continuous pipeline. PDA maze. Very simple game, main goal, leave the maze. Doom, how much is in this world? Next up, settings. The following settings stuff. Brightness and power management. Brightness control is also available from the keyboard. Sound settings. Here you can customize sound control. Volume control is directly available from the tray. Tabs customization. Here in the base traditions of DE Linux you can customize a lot of things. Display. You can choose the theme, design and fonts. Network. Manage the operation of wireless networks. The configuration is not easiest, but through the GUI, in general you can understand. Installing and uninstalling programs. Everything is simple here. Security. Setting and removing a password on the device. Obviously, competitors can steal your pivot tables, so you definitely need to set it up. Screen calibration. Up button reassignment. Those on the right. Setting the time. Backup and restore. As they say, there are two types of people. First, who do backups, and second, who already do backups. System information. Synchronization application, PC link synchronization software. Bin receive, receiving files via IRDA. Russification of keyboard, language management, shutdown. When pressed, the system usually goes to sleep, and you can turn it off directly in several ways. For example, via the corresponding main menu item. System monitor. Next step, files. Simple file manager, because there can be three types of media here. They are visible highlighted here. There is a convenient tree structure view, familiar back buttons. So, in general, a good file manager with a minimal set of the most necessary functions. All the time we've been avoiding the bottom panel. It's a pity. Here we have a menu that generally duplicates the basic information from the text, but at the same time there are useful buttons such as force rotation, zoom in and out, as well as reboot and sleep. Here we have keyboard selection, sound control menu, save card availability in the slot, battery charge. It's important to note that if you tap on the battery, you'll see a little more information about its state. Time and its setting can also be started from the tray. And finally, the current language. The price at launch was 7,000 yen, $610 US. So, it's time to make some conclusions. As for me, this device masterpiece for its time. I completely agree with the term personal mobile tool. It completely describes what the Zaurus is for and what to expect from it. In general, a full-fledged computer on Linux. We are ignoring the fact that it's an ARM-based computer. It's an ultimate solution, it was 20 years ago and it remains now. In combination with a pretty good battery, even after 20 years, if you want, you can still find a use for it. Thanks for watching, like, share and repost.